We're talking about the consumer tonight in a way that not many people, if any, talk about it. It's not just about identity theft. It's about the fact that the consumer is getting screwed in this country every day in every way when it comes to this issue. Retailers across the country are supposed to have upgraded their terminals that accept so-called EMV chip-enabled cards, no swiping necessary. It's supposed to protect you, said to be more secure. They're embedded microprocessors. They transmit unique data, whatever the heck that means. It's all, as far as I'm concerned, bunk. But it's big bunk, and it's being peddled to the American people daily. Here to talk about these issues, Fox Business Network's Gerri Willis, defense attorney Rebecca Rose Woodland, credit expert John Ulzheimer, president of the Ulzheimer Group, and I want to say thank you to each of you for being here. First discovery, consumers are not protected at all here. They are, in point of fact, companies lose their information to hackers, cyber attackers, and the next thing, there's a ring of thieves having a field day with their personal information.
With your personal information. And, this
and
is
the
a huge
company
problem.
is at fault. It's their responsibility, but not necessarily their liability, right?
Well, this is the issue. We have a Federal Trade Commission. We have some regulations. We have state laws, federal laws, all of which are ostensibly to protect the consumer. The problem is the consumers don't know all of the things they need to do to get the protection once there's fraud, because the credit card companies don't give you the proper information about the fraud.
The cavalry's not coming. The credit card companies are not protecting you. The federal government is. You've got to do everything on your own, and that's the hard part here.
Well,
and the challenge,
go ahead.
We can be the best. We can be the best stewards of our own information. We can protect our checkbooks. We can shred statements. And at the end of the day, if Target and Sony and Home Depot and Chase and Anthem are being breached, then what am I, the consumer, supposed to do to protect myself when they're giving me things like free credit monitoring, which is almost like someone telling you after you've been in a car accident, because it's very reactive and doesn't really do anything to help me.
Right.
We had this happen to us recently, and my wife and I talking with one store, I won't name them this time, which we've since canceled the account because it was idiotic. But the reality is they're not there to help. They don't even know what's going on. They talk about practices like there'll be a password assigned, it'll protect your account forever. Within 30 days, it was wide open. This is the biggest bunch of stupid nonsense going on, and you know, and by the way, our accountant tells us don't ever bank by mail because you are leaving yourself wide open. Yeah. Who else is saying that? Why isn't somebody saying this stuff? Because our accountant has told us this from Jump Street. Do not expose yourself on the web.
Well, I'll tell you what's going to happen. There's a lot of class action suits now. Office of Personnel Management, 22 million people joined that class action.
Perhaps as many as 30 million.
Exactly.
Absolutely no protection, and not even I'm sorry, from the Office of Personnel Management or this administration to let the Chinese walk in and take all of that information from federal employees.
So you know what's going to happen is the lawsuits will readjust the system. They'll have
to. It'll take years.
No. Wow. How is a lawsuit going to protect you from these super sophisticated thieves who have figured out how to break into the Defense Department, OPM, some of the most sophisticated retailers out there?
John, let me ask you something. Equifax, one of the biggest, I guess. You know, talking to those people was one of the most infuriating, frustrating, stupid things. And I consider, my wife and I to be reasonably intelligent human beings, especially on her side of the family. But it is nonsense. The companies don't even want to protect themselves. They've got a write-off provision or something. And I got to tell you, I sense a major economic disruption coming here, because when you see this happening, some people are going to get really screwed, and there are going to be enough of them that we're going to see a disruption in the industry and in the economy. What do you think?
Well, the credit reporting agencies are actually profiting from identity theft, and here's how. They have crafted services and products, fee-based subscription services, that they market to consumers on the fear that their personal credit information is going to be somehow compromised, and they're hitting these consumers with $10 a month, $15 a month,
and doing
for these
things that you could do
credit
yourself.
monitoring Very much so. That's exactly right, Gerri. There are so many of these services that are available for free, but we don't know where those are. But every time I flip on the television or fire up my browser, I am bombarded with advertisements to sign up for these credit monitoring services.
But there's another problem
for $12 and
here,
$15
too.
a month.
Credit card operators have no interest in getting you to use your card less often. They want to make it as easy as possible. The other kinds of things that go on in Europe where you have to put a PIN in with your card, we're not doing that really yet. That isn't the standard. We could take extra steps. We're just not doing it because it's not in the interest of these companies.
Yeah, America's about 10 years behind Europe in cybersecurity with the credit cards and online hacking. 10 years behind. Why?
And our lovely Congress and these two lovely political parties are, well, they're bought and paid for by the credit card companies, who, by the way, just so everybody, so I can say this right out in front, who wrote the 2005 bankruptcy law themselves. I mean, literally wrote it. They own our Congress, lock, stock, and barrel. Our judges should be intervening in this thing right now.
But we're getting no protection. I mean, that's the frustrating thing, and you put your finger right on the problem. No one is there to protect the consumer. You have to take whatever steps you can.
What happened to the Consumer Personal Protection Bureau?
Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Wagging their finger, Lou.
Oh,
they're wagging their finger.
And also they're raising their hand hoping for the next job with one of the major credit card companies or banks.
Exactly.
I'm sure that was unfair of me, and I apologize. I promise to be more fair and balanced when it comes to this revolving door in Washington, D.C. Legal recourse?
You know, people are taking it, but unfortunately it is, as Gerri said, after the fact. Your identity is breached, your information is breached, and then you join a class action.
And join a large number, a growing number of victims of identity theft. Rebecca, thank you. Gerri Willis, thank you. Rebecca Rose Woodland. And John Ulzheimer, thank you for being with us.